So, Driss, you've had a pretty distinguished career in senior management across a number of industries, health, media, logistics, and now retail. Do you believe that IT is IT, or are there distinct differences between the way in each industry utilises technology?
Look, I believe IT is basically IT, but it changes depending on the industry. After a certain point, you have all your core base requirements are basically the same.
Sure.
It's about hardware, it's about outsourcing, it's about software, it's about service, it's about applications and enabling the business to do its work. Then it changes. What is the business requirements out there? What's the environment? How competitive do you have to be? What is there? Where do you need to be? What's the strategy and all that sort of stuff? And that changes very much. It can't be the same, for example, from health to retail.
Sure.
Different drivers, different demands, different markets, different pressures, different funding. So, yeah, that's where it changes.
So I suppose technology is technology, but it's
technology is technology, but you need to bring some business acumen and business application into it.
Sure.
I think later on we're going to talk about the different roles of CIOs, and that's where the difference is.
Can you give us a rundown of the technical environment here at Retrovision?
It's largely outsourced, and it's mostly Microsoft.
Okay.
And we have some in-house applications that we still support until we make a choice as to where we want to go with ARP or point of sale.
Sure.
But I think it's fair to say it's Microsoft and it's mostly outsourced.
Okay. And what structure have you embraced in the IT department?
You mean from a resourcing point of view?
Yeah. From an internal sort of structure.
Well, we're the only service that lives and breathes at national level. We support every store across Australia from Melbourne.
Okay.
So we have one help desk, one infrastructure team. I think when I got here about 3.5 years ago, we had 5 teams looking after smaller bits of the equation, replicating and duplicating various functions. So we had a manager for Western, a manager for Northern, a manager for Southern, a manager for New Zealand, and a manager for National.
Sure.
And they're all effectively trying to do roughly the same thing.
Okay.
Now we have one CIO and managers who look after specific divisions, if you like infrastructure, service delivery, that's Connie, the one you met, PMO, application development, web and applications, that sort of stuff.
Okay.
So it's very small, very streamlined. I think we reduced the number, doing that and outsourcing a lot of the componentry as well. We were able to reduce staff from about in the mid-40s to late 20s.
Okay. So that was a big change that you brought on board?
Yeah. Not only that, but also a consolidation of a number of applications, reducing all illegitimate applications, so to speak, by providing better technology to enable the business to know where it's at on a much more up-to-date and regular basis. Yeah.
So there's been a dual benefit, so reducing in cost, but also an increase in...
An increase in functionality, and we've led the business along the way as well, through various innovation that IT was able to bring to the table.
Sure. What are some of the technical challenges that you've faced in your time here at Retrovision?
Actually, surprisingly, not many. We did need to consolidate. We did need to redesign our infrastructure. We did need to reduce waste, get better outsourcing arrangements, work closely to the executive and to the business, provide better service and support, refresh a lot of the technology out there and a lot of hardware out there, establish credibility with the business, which was completely lacking 3 years ago.
Sure. Was that because of service delivery?
Service delivery was shocking because we didn't have a single point of view. The SOE was non-existent, or it was 5 flavors of everything.
Sure.
Yeah, that sort of stuff. So by consolidating and standardizing the environment, we were able then to prove to the business that a small investment up front is going to give much bigger returns down the track, and we've
Sure.
achieved that, yeah.
Is that did that come about due to the structure of the business being a cooperative rather than your standard shareholding company?
Well, no, that's only part of it. It's actually been regionally driven business. I report into 3 regional CEOs
Sure.
and their underlying boards, as well as a national board.
Okay.
So to get decisions made here, it's more of a collaboration
Sure.
than a business case to one person.
And what do you perceive as the benefits or drawbacks of a business remaining at the cutting edge of technology,
The drawbacks.
if there is any?
I can't.
Do you see it as a benefit or a drawback?
Well, I think we're too small to have our own R&D and to invest in new technologies or to be at the cutting edge
yeah.
or even the bleeding edge of any of these new technologies. But we
Sure.
need to be there. So that's where we partner up with
Okay.
other people that obviously have the clout, like Microsoft, who invest billions of dollars in R&D. So we leverage off that, and the same with Semantic, and the same with all the partnerships that we have.
Sure.
And we work very, very closely with them because we can't afford to make mistakes, take the business down with us, or make the kind of investment that they do.
Yeah. Bearing in mind that you do have a lot of outsourcing arrangements, but in general, what's your biggest priority when evaluating new technology for a business?
Longevity. How is it going to serve us 5, 10 years down the track?
Yep.
How relevant is it to us today, and how is it going to be relevant a few years down the track? Because we're at a crossroads, if you like, we're waiting to change our ERP or to fund it and point of sale. Unless something comes up that's going to meet our requirements today and into the future, then it doesn't fly.
Sure.
So all technology basically has to have a long longevity. It has to come from a steady base, a la Microsoft.NET, all these types of requirements. Otherwise, it won't fly.
Sure. And how do you evaluate the success of a new technology?
That's actually pretty easy. You see its application, you see what it's going to cost and what it's going to do to the business, and then you match whether you've actually achieved all of that. So you go through stages of building a business case, evaluating your own needs versus what the technology is going to offer. We're not big buyers of technology just for the sake of technology.
Sure.
The dollars are very, very scarce. So we leverage off what others have achieved already, or we don't invent anything new. We basically reuse but target the
Okay.
applications.